quite bad, still quite bad.
Absolutely.
You know, I've been analyzing crime stats report since 2010. And even the day of the launch of this book was the same day that the crime stats for 2019 and 2020 was released. And there was still no substantial decrease of crime. So, and even when you look at what is happening in the news currently, then you realize that there's no change. But as a believer, I think that we can still defeat crime in this country.
Wonderful, I believe so too. In the introduction of your book, you are saying defining crime has not always been an easy task. What makes you say that? And how do you personally define crime?
You know, in the process of writing this book, we did interview many people. Even now after the release, we are busy interviewing a lot of people.
Yes.
And trying to ask them how they define crime. Then you realize that many people speak about crime, they experience crime, but they struggle actually to define crime. And for me, it's not a surprise because when you read what criminalists are saying, and the majority of them, they don't agree on the proper meaning of the word crime. So that's why it's difficult to see people in the street giving you correct answers when it comes to the proper meaning of crime. But as for me, with the study that I did with this topic, I can define crime as any action that is legally prohibited. And when I talk about legally prohibited, I'm not only seeing the law of our society, what I call normally human laws, but I also see God's law. So any action that is prohibited both in God's laws and in our criminal code, so that's what I call crime.
Oh, okay. That's very nice. There is a section in the first chapter titled Crime versus Sin. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you please try to explain why you brought in the concept sin while trying to define crime? Can you please try to explain to people?
You know, both crime and sin, they've got the same meaning.
Okay.
So when you commit crime, you are breaking the law. And also when you commit sin, you are breaking the law. But for me to bring the two concepts, I wanted to emphasize the fact that as people, we are subjected to mainly to two different laws. So we are subjected to human laws, what I call human laws, the criminal code, but we are also subjected to God's laws. And when I talk about God's law, I'm speaking more about God's moral laws, the laws that were inserted in our conscience from birth. And also the laws that we can be receiving. It's moral laws, just moral laws, because when you talk about God's laws, you got ceremonial laws, you got moral laws, you got civil laws. But the moral laws, it was inserted in our conscience. But we can also receive it through some different ways, like to the believers, to the word of God. So that's God's moral laws. But then when you look at the two laws, especially the criminal code, you're going to realize that there are a lot of similarities with God's moral laws. So for instance, when we say killing is bad, or killing is a crime in our society, and the word of God, also the moral laws also, is saying crime is bad. You understand? So that's why I wanted to bring these two concepts in this book. But you must realize that the society we are living in now, bit by bit, many laws that are considered illegal by God are being considered legal in our society. So for me, I see laws, not only what our criminal code is saying, but I also see laws, what God's moral laws are saying.
Wow, that was very interesting. I even learned something from you today. Okay, so how bad is crime affecting our society?
Yo, in South Africa it's very bad. It's very bad, and crime is almost crippling all the structures of our society. Almost all the structures. When I was trying to speak about the cause of crime in the book, I raised many ways and that crime is affecting the country. I spoke about crime destroying families. I spoke about crime killing businesses. I spoke about crime killing or destroying the education system. I spoke about crime trying to delay or to stop the development or the economic growth of our society, of our community, of our nations. I spoke about crime causing poverty. I spoke about a crime trying to cause death and accidents in our road. So basically, crime is crippling all the structures of our society. And even when it comes to resources, there's this other section when I say that crime is actually wasting our resources, be it individual resources or national resources. Crime is badly affecting our resources.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kudimana. Can you give us concrete example on how crime badly destroying our society? Can we get some example from you?
Yeah, we have a lot of examples. We have plenty of them. Let's say, for instance, the issue of the family. When I say crime and destroy families, you know, when you look at divorce today, the main cause of divorces is mostly it's abuse, physical or moral abuse. And what's happening now with those things, we have a lot of cases of divorce in the country. And in my research, I found out that in the year 2017, over 2,000, no, not 2,000, that was 25,000, over 25,000 cases of divorce were granted in South Africa. And you know, when people divorce, then you're gonna get to help families or kids being raised by single parent, and today, like what we are experiencing today in our streets, we are busy seeing plenty of children, homeless children, and then you realize what is happening. You understand why this is happening in our society? So many kids in the streets, and when you go back, you're gonna find that maybe the parents were divorced, and the cause of the divorce may be physical abuse or mental abuse. So that's only in the context of destroying family, and even the issue of rape. Rape is destroying the family completely. And in South Africa today is seen as having one of the top rate of rape in the world. And people, they can just hear about rape, but rape is very dangerous, and got a lot of bad consequences. You know, when you read the Bible, I think the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 13, there's a story of a guy that raped his half-sister. So it was only a single act of rape. But what happened there, the whole kingdom was divided.
Okay.
Family were divided, the priests were divided, just because of that act of rape. It said that more than 20,000 people got killed just because of that. So crime is destroying families. And when you come to the resources of the nation, for instance, you can see what is happening now. Look at the Zondo Commission. Most of the state-owned enterprises are not functioning properly because of crime. And I think a few months ago, we used to have this problem of load shedding. It was crime. So crime is causing all these problems. And even the issue of the death or accidents on our roads, the background is always crime. So crime is actually crippling all the structures of our society. The education system, don't even talk about it. Now we learn about the leak of the exams. So children, they can pass their exams, and then in their head they don't have nothing. And tomorrow, after tomorrow, they can't be useful to society.
That's very true.
So those are only a few examples of how crime is badly affecting our society. So we got many examples, but those are only few. But you can get more in my book.
That's more than enough. Thank you so much, Mr. Kudimana. Can you please tell us where can people find your book?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think the best place to find a book now for people that are in South Africa, they can find it from Take a Lot.
Okay.
Take a Lot, and it's also available on Amazon platform. And for people that are in Cape Town, they can go to Long Street at Clark, a bookshop. They can go to Woodstock at Blank Books. So those are some of the places where people they can be able to find the book.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It was a great pleasure today having Mr. Kudimana with us. You can email Mr. Kudimana. You can ask any question that you want. The next chapter will be live on YouTube, on Facebook. Please do not miss it. You can ask any question. Mr. Kudimana will be there to answer all your questions. God bless you.